Now let's start with the workflow, how to import the MikeSheet transient DFS2 recharge rates into a FEFLOW model. I have here prepared a short test dataset, a small FEFLOW model, and a DFS2 raster dataset. You can see that the original raster dataset that I would like to import at the very end is quite large, now 186 megabytes. Let's have a close look into that for a moment. For those of you who are more experienced with FEFLOW than with FEFLOW rather than with MikeSheet, you see here such a transient DFS2 raster dataset. The DFS2 is the Mike native file format for raster datasets, and they can have different time steps. Now, in this case, you see here the color ramp, which I change now to a more intuitive coloring based on prepared color palette files that we have for our MikeSheet models. I choose here now from +3 to -3 to see here nicely the pattern. And you can see here, super nice, how here the river goes through and which detailed representation of the different soils and different depths to groundwater you can reflect in such a MikeSheet recharge calculation. Now, what you should check always before you import the DFS2 into FEFLOW, you click on the lower left side on Edit and check if the item type is precipitation rate in millimeters per day. This is important for FEFLOW to recognize correctly the values, and if the geographical setting is put to local coordinates and it's really thinking in meters. If it is still in degree, you need to change it, otherwise the spatial mapping will fail in FEFLOW. Now, before we import this raster dataset, also worth to tell you or to explain that these values here in MikeSheet always are a so-called reverse mean step accumulated. That means, in this case, I want to simulate recharge for 25 years. And in order to stay without the current restriction in FEFLOW that allows you to import a maximum number of 2000 time steps, we have chosen here a 28-day output time step, so for weekly, nearly monthly. And the start date is here the 1st of November 1996. So remember that the first value is on the first day, but the second value is on the 29th day. And therefore, what happens in MikeSheet, it summarizes the recognized recharge rates with the inner daily time step within these 28 days, divides it by 28 days in order to get, again, millimeter per day. The output item that you consider in FEFLOW is the total recharge to saturated zone. Now, before we do the import into FEFLOW with the whole dataset, it makes sense to save a subset where you delete some of the time steps in order to really see if the workflow is working on your end. So I can select on the left click the time steps and holding shift remove these time steps and to reduce it to only 3 to really see if the workflow works. Then I can close this one. I open my FEFLOW 11. I have here my test model that I opened. Now, my recommendation is always, if I go back here to the original color scheme, here. The default is always this rainbow, which is not super nice for me to understand where positive and negative recharge rates are happening, like I saw it here in MikeSheet. So I normally right click here on source sync, left click on properties, right click into the color ramp and change the preset to blue, green, yellow, red. Now I have already a nice preset. I invert the color scheme, right click and draw the color separator here to the middle and apply. Now I have positive values for blue and negative values in yellow. Now I import here the recharge map, in this case the smaller subset. Then this dialog will open. I select here the item that I want to choose. Sometimes there are still several items in there. Now in this case I deleted the other 3 ones that are there in default. You need to choose here cell data, which is the type of data that FEFLOW wants to see here. And now this is the time where you can do this time shift, because FEFLOW considers the time stages with a linear interpolation in between. That means if you have a large output time step, now in this case 28 days, it is recommended to shift the timestamp here by half of the output time stepping in MikeShe. Now if it's 28 days, I need to go 14 days or 2 weeks earlier to have here a correct assignment in FEFLOW that makes sense in terms of the temporal scale in MikeShe. Now there is a small issue that happens sometimes, but is not reproducible all the time. The developers are looking into that right now. You need to add here 1 hour so that it matches a full day. Then I click OK. Before I import this, ensure that you make it always, let's assume I have already assigned values before and it is already transient. I recommend you to change it again to stationary so that it deletes all the other time stages. Then I double click on source sync, select all values and delete them, because if you during the calibration process are reassigning multiple versions of the recharge and there's only a slight change between 2 sets in the first time steps, you do not directly see if the assignment was successful. So now we can do the assignment. I right click here on this DFS2 layer, click on link to parameter. Then you see here it's loading the data set. And now I can see here these 3 timestamps. If the shift worked, you can see here it's exactly like I wanted to have it. The first timestamp should be at 14 days and then 28 days the another one. And it's 0 hours, 0 minutes and 0 seconds. This was due to this 1 hour shift. So it could be sometimes back and forth to see the correct value that you need to insert here. Now in this case, I do 1 left click on the first item, press shift, and 1 left click on the lower one to select all of them. Now I go here to source sync and change it to assign material data to time stages. Then my FEFLOW will automatically create here the correct time stages. If you have a time shift and you do not want to do this workaround with 1 hour, you can also pre-process the time stages in Excel and copy paste it directly into this dialog here. Now in this case, I'm done. I click OK. Now you can see here a small drop-down arrow. And in order to assign all the values to all the time steps, you need to now, while these are selected, do 1 left double click on the first item, and then you can see that the links are created correctly. Now this is fine. Here I have a user-defined unit which is millimeters per day. You can prepare that yourself. So it's another, I will show you a second. If you want to do this also, because as you remember, the output of MikeShe is millimeters per day. You go to tools, 1 left click on units, and you create a new velocity user-defined unit. Instead of meters per day, we call it millimeter per day. In this case 2, because I have already one. Up. And the factor here would be 1000. Now this you can use. I delete this one because I have it already here. Okay. I go back to my link. Now these fields can stay unchanged, and here you need to change it to area weighted projection. I do 1 left click and double click on the link, select all my cells. I see here 0 values, that looks good. And then I can assign it here with the green a sine arrow. Now this takes a couple of seconds for these 3 time steps. You can see we have here 205,000 elements. It's a 2D FEFLOW model. Now you can imagine if you have more elements in the top layer or you have more time steps, it will probably take more time. That's why I always recommend to do this in the evening. Now this looks good. We can see already the blue and yellow values like I would expect that. If you do this for the large DFS2 dataset and all the time steps, I recommend you to, as I said, test it with a small test setup. And once you see it works, I step here now through the time steps and it works. The 3 time steps are changing. That looks good. I recommend you to do this in the evening. So at the end of your working day, once you know the workflow is working, prepare a clean FEFLOW model and start the import before you leave the computer. And on the next day, it will be ready. So it can take sometimes a couple of hours even. Now, in order to show you how this looks with a larger time step, with the long data set, I open here another one. It's now opening by mistake in the old version. This one. And you can see here we have way more time steps. And we can skip through all of them. And you see here how nicely these dynamics are well reflected during dry and wet periods. If you take the inspector here, you can look even in the time series for each cell. Now pull this one here up. No, okay, doesn't matter. I extend it to the bottom. And you see here how nicely, as I showed it in my XG, the different dynamics are reflected depending on soil type and depth to groundwater. So that's the workflow in FEFLOW. Now we move on to the workflow for MODFLOW users.